Big things are happening today at 1 p.m. ET. The SEC's Crypto Task Force Roundtable will dive deep into the hot topic of tokenization. You'll hear from heavyweight panelists representing giants like BlackRock, Fidelity, Nasdaq, and several others in the financial space. Kicking things off will be SEC Chair Paul Atkins, who's set to deliver a keynote address focused specifically on asset tokenization, a subject that's getting more attention by the day. It's an exciting moment, no doubt, and we're all eager to see what insights and announcements come out of this gathering. Now here's the thing, these types of meetings typically aren't live streamed for the public. That's just how it's been in the past, so we're kind of expecting the same this time around. Will it be any different today? Will we get a press release or a recap later? That remains to be seen. But either way, the fact that major institutions are gathering to talk about tokenization is significant in itself. And speaking of these major players, BlackRock, Fidelity, Nasdaq, it's clear they're not just here for show. They're making moves in the digital asset space, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more ETF filings rolling in from them. If history tells us anything, this feels a lot like the early stages of what we saw happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's a strong chance this momentum could extend to XRP and other altcoins as well. We might even see index funds built around these assets sometime soon. So to all the XRP holders tuning in, welcome back to the CoinGraph Market channel. We appreciate you truly. Your support means everything, and we're glad to have you on this journey. Let's talk markets for a minute. As we kick off the week, Monday morning is already showing signs of strength. The crypto market is gaining traction again, although Sunday saw a bit of a dip. Nothing major, just a mild pullback in Bitcoin, which caused some altcoins to retrace. Interestingly, Bitcoin dominance ticked up slightly, which usually signals pressure on smaller coins. But here's the silver lining. Zoom into the 1-hour chart, and you'll notice the trend starting to shift upward again. Momentum is coming back. Now zooming in on XRP, it's currently priced at $2.40, up 0.5% in USD terms, but down 0.3% compared to Bitcoin. Still, that $2.40 mark brings XRP's market cap to an impressive $140.3 billion. And in terms of daily trading activity, it's been moving around $4 billion in the past 24 hours. Those are strong numbers. Before we go any further, let's just pause for a quick reminder. Nothing on this channel should be considered financial advice. Please always do your own research and make sure you understand what you're investing in. Crypto is exciting, but it's also risky. Here's a little food for thought. Just a few years back, you could scoop up 5 XRP for $1. Today, that same dollar barely gets you a fraction of 1 XRP. We're talking about a 10x plus increase in cost, a massive leap in value. And if things play out the way many are anticipating, especially with ETFs in the mix, we could be looking at another major growth phase. Could XRP 100x from today's price? It's not guaranteed, and it won't happen overnight, but the potential is real. Getting there won't be easy. But then again, big rewards rarely come without a challenge. Getting to those double-digit XRP prices won't happen overnight. It's going to take some time, no doubt, but the kind of explosive price movement we're anticipating could be right around the corner. It's easy to miss the signs if you're not paying close attention, but once institutional money starts pouring in and the ETF finally gets the green light, things could accelerate faster than most people expect. What's often overlooked is the increasing integration of XRP into financial systems. The more the XRP ledger gets adopted across various infrastructures, the more crucial its native token, XRP, becomes. It's the fuel that keeps liquidity flowing within that system, so demand naturally grows as adoption increases. That utility is key. Once ETF filings are officially approved, expect to see some of the financial world's heavyweights diving in head first. These aren't just speculative investors. We're talking about large-scale institutions that are looking to hold long-term positions in digital assets like XRP. And based on everything we're hearing, from use case studies to real-world applications, it's clear that XRP is helping reshape how we think about finance altogether. A big factor that's often underestimated is regulatory clarity. The more defined the rules become around digital assets like XRP, the easier it will be for major players to enter the space with confidence. In my view, that's going to unlock a wave of activity and attention. Shout out to Chad, who made an excellent point on this. Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments too. I'd love to hear what the community thinks. Now here's something massive. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust IBT scooped up 10,570 BTC just this week, while only about 3,150 new Bitcoins were mined on average. Let that sink in. We've been saying this for weeks on the channel. Bitcoin is being snatched up at a pace that far exceeds its new supply. Demand is running laps around supply, and that kind of imbalance tells a powerful story. And don't forget, the next Bitcoin halving is getting closer. When that happens, mining rewards will be slashed again, cutting the amount of new Bitcoin entering circulation. That means it'll be even harder to mine, and even more valuable to hold. Institutions like BlackRock aren't buying for short-term flips. They're positioning for the long game, possibly for years ahead. That's something many casual investors miss, but rest assured, the big players absolutely see it. Now let's talk about what could be the biggest headline of the day. After 2 days of intense negotiations, the US and China have reportedly struck a major trade agreement in Geneva. President Trump has already made a public statement confirming the deal, with more details expected tomorrow. This is a big deal, not just politically, but financially. If this trade breakthrough leads to increased market stability, it could act as a catalyst for Bitcoin to make a serious push toward new all-time highs. And when Bitcoin rallies, altcoins usually aren't far behind. We could be looking at the beginning of another major bull run. Yet again, many are sleeping on this, but if history repeats itself, crypto might just explode off this news. Of course, the traditional financial markets are closed over the weekend, but crypto never sleeps. And if things unfold the way we're anticipating, Monday morning could be very interesting. We're kicking things off with green numbers in the pre-market. That's always a good sign. Now the big question is, how will the broader stock market respond once the bell rings? So far things are looking promising, and I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the energy I'm seeing today. And check this out. Zoom recently put out a statement that pretty much sums up the mood. The pump has barely started. That got me thinking. When we look back, a lot of folks might end up regretting they cashed out too early. I tend to agree. Even though Bitcoin dominance has dipped over the last few days, especially the past 72 to 96 hours, it's still holding at a strong level when you zoom out. If we see dominance bounce back to the highs we had earlier this year, we could be heading right back into that euphoric phase we saw at the start of Q1, and even at the tail end of last year. That kind of sentiment shift could light a fire under the entire crypto market. Now on to something we touched on yesterday, the M2 global money supply. Chad brought up a great point about how year-over-year changes in the M2 supply tend to have a strong connection to Bitcoin's price action. That correlation has historically been positive, and when you look at the chart, it's hard to ignore. Some analysts are now floating the idea of Bitcoin climbing to $150,000, and honestly, that doesn't shock me one bit. Shout out to Raoul Pal for spotlighting that chart.